How to have fun, anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
A manhunt is underway in Pennsylvania as an escaped murderer and skilled outdoorsman is on the run. A U.S. Army interpreter is shot and killed in Washington, D.C. while using Lyft as a side hustle. And 26 vehicles are towed in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as a huge police sting cracks down on street racers terrorizing the city. These stories and more coming at you today, Wednesday, July 12th, on Real Life Real Crime Daily, and I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino.
What's up?
Full of energy today,
What's
boys.
Up, fellas? Making the magic happen for all you listeners.
Is that a new hat? Well, I don't think I've seen that hat.
No, it's
that one.
It's probably been in the truck for a while.
He's got a nice blue one
on
today.
the dash, like cop lights or something.
He's sporting the colors.
You know, it's crazy is I don't have a hat.
You know what?
Nuts to me.
I'm going to get my CEO of the business. I'll send her an email.
Get her on the merch, man. Get her on the merch. I want my Shabusiness merch. I put some.
She's in charge of all that, and I'm sure she'll handle her business.
There you go.
Okay, I'm gonna send
Excellent.
her. I'm gonna send her some ideas.
You gotta get shirts too.
I've been talking to.
She does shirts. We have the machine that makes all the stuff, and you can put anything.
Taylor wants to do a line of clothing from prison. She's got some great ideas.
We need to do that. We need to do that. So, all good
for our joint venture.
That's it. Let's get into some crime time.
Lots of it out there.
There sure is, and we're going to start off in Pennsylvania, guys. And the Pennsylvania State Police say they believe fugitive escapee Michael Burham is receiving assistance outside in a manhunt that began last Thursday night after he slipped out of the Warren County Jail and was believed to have run off into the forest along the border of Pennsylvania and New York. Burham, who is an Army veteran with survivalist and firearms training, was being held on kidnapping and related charges and is also suspected of the murder and rape in New York in an interstate crime spree that ended in his arrest in South Carolina after a previous manhunt in May. He made his way through the jail's gym to the rooftop Thursday night, where he was able to climb down with a rope made from bed sheets. Sounds like something from back in Alcatraz times, right? Then he snuck off in a denim jacket and jail-issued orange striped jumpsuit and matching Crocs. Woody, I knew you were going to say something when I said that.
Drive, baby.
That was around 11:20 p.m. that night. But he may have changed his clothes along the way, and more than 150 officers from state, local, and federal agencies are looking into reports of possible sightings in both states. We do believe that he is getting some assistance. This from Pennsylvania State Police Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens. We are prepared to prosecute anyone who does offer him assistance. Now, Burham should be considered armed and dangerous, and authorities believe he is still in the area or one of its surrounding areas. Police have been on his trail since early Friday and said late last week they had uncovered a series of possible campsites in the area and did not believe that he had traveled far. Police have also investigated several burglaries and break-ins in the surrounding area, including an incident in which a Western New York couple's dog was found dead and clothes were stolen from their home. But police have not found a direct association with any of the incidents and Burham's movements. The suspect has numerous relatives in the area, but police declined to comment on whether his family was cooperating. Now, U.S. Marshals have joined the manhunt.
I was about to say.
Oh,
My
yeah.
boys, man, I've worked with them so many times. They're going to get that ass.
That's right. And as is typical with the marshals, they are announcing a reward of up to $9,500 for information leading to his capture. Now, what makes Burham unique is that he spent more than 11 years in the U.S. Army Reserve as a water treatment specialist and utilities equipment repairer from February of 2008 to December of 2020. He was never deployed and was a sergeant at the end of his service. But in May, he was suspected in a shocking crime spree that involved shooting to death a New York woman. He had been separately accused of raping and the abduction of a Pennsylvania couple.
Yeah, bro, this dude just didn't stop, right?
Yeah, they were later found in South Carolina. Jamestown police found Kayla Hodgen, and she was shot dead in her home on May 11th. That same day, he was recorded on his ex-girlfriend's Ring doorbell trying to break into her house and lighting her car on fire. So this guy is not good. Right? Yeah. So Pennsylvania police sent out a missing person report when the couple I just told you about went missing, and South Carolina Highway Patrol found those victims alive the following day in South Carolina. They told police they had been taken at gunpoint from their home and identified Burham as their alleged kidnapper. He was arrested on May 22nd after police tracked him to South Carolina, where they found a note to his father in a stolen car. And get this, the note said, "I'm not sorry for what I did. However, I do feel terrible about the children."
Wow.
Yeah. So this guy is basically a survivalist who is a psycho for all intents and purposes. But they got kind of a Rambo situation going on right now in the deep woods of Pennsylvania in a national forest.
Yeah, had the National Guard come out after him.
Yeah, but this guy's, it's Bear Grylls. He's Bear Grylls out there against all these guys, and they ain't going to find him at the Waffle House. I mean, this guy's for real.
Right. You're absolutely right on that one.
That's right. And this whole situation kind of reminds me of Rambo. And look, like Colonel Chapman said, if they don't watch it, they're going to end up needing a big supply of body bags. And if you need that, you're going to need autopsies. And there is one located in Broussard, Louisiana, right outside of Lafayette, under this big American flag.
American flag.
You can't miss it.
Right.
That would be Louisiana Funeral Services and Crematory that you're talking about there, Jim.
Yep.
Our good friends are the only place in Louisiana that can facilitate an autopsy, embalming, cremation, and even a cremation for your pet, all under the same roof. There is only one privately owned facility that offers autopsy services in the state, and that is Parish Forensics. They've been serving Louisiana since 2007. Louisiana Funeral Services and Crematory, a full-service funeral home with 2 on-site crematories serving families with aftercare needs and fellow funeral homes with third-party embalming and cremation needs since 2015. And they've also got Louisiana Pet Crematory, which we have talked about, and they are our good friends and sponsors, and we love them. And y'all, this is the last thing you want to think about, but there will be times, unfortunately, in life where we require the services of people like this. And when you need somebody, these are the people to go to.
Hey, if I ever need it, I'm going on record right now. I want y'all to send me to Parish Forensics and Louisiana Funeral Services and Crematory. If you're a resident of Louisiana, call them today. Speak to someone about their services at 1-800-CREMATE. That's 1-800-273-6283 or 1-800-FUNERAL. That's 1-800-386-3725. You can follow them on Facebook and Instagram for their latest memorial product offerings and more. That's Parish Forensics, Louisiana Funeral Home and Crematory, and Louisiana Pet Crematory of Broussard, Louisiana. And we all know what their tagline is.
Rest easy.
Love those people.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So now, y'all know this big thing going on with these juveniles and the street racing and the street outlaws. All these shows are coming on and making them more and more popular. Well, it just happened a couple months ago here in Baton Rouge. They went ape shit one night, right? And the problem is the social media, they're sharing it back and forth, and having these meetups and all this shit happen. Well, BRPD evidently got wind of what was going to go down on Friday, July the 7th. So multiple law enforcement agencies responded to what authorities called a street racing operation on Friday, July the 7th. That led to dozens of vehicles towed and people cited. According to officials, it started around 7 p.m. and ended around 3 a.m. the next morning. During the operation, officers learned the people were blocking streets in different areas of Baton Rouge in an attempt to do stunts and disrupt traffic. Well, guess what? Law enforcement was ready this time. Last time, it was a total shit show. This time, Baton Rouge towed 26 vehicles, issued 22 citations for spectators, 3 citations for no insurance, 2 citations for no driver's license, 1 citation for switch plate, 2 misdemeanor summons, and they have made 1 felony arrest and seized 1 gun. Baton Rouge Police uniform officers, the Street Crimes Division, and the Special Response Team and BRPD detectives helped with this stop. This is BRPD's ongoing efforts to deter drivers from performing car stunts in Baton Rouge. It's just really dangerous. It's I know it's a thing, but it's really dangerous. Also, you're affecting the normal citizens.
Yeah, and this has been going on ultra frequently in Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. Like you said, Woody, it's a popular thing right now with the movies that have came out in the past couple of years. And a lot of times they're doing what they call drifting, which is where you basically, it's almost like you're doing donuts, but you're sliding sideways. And look, we were all kids, and did I ever hit the gas at a red light?
I never drove a car as a kid that I didn't try to burn it out, right? Yeah. But I wasn't doing it on social media with
they're blocking off streets,
200 people, and they at some point you got to know you got away with it last time. Right? Yeah. At some point, you got to know that the cops got their feelers out there, and they're going to shut your ass down.
That's right. And
26 towing the vehicles, you're looking at about $300 or $400 a vehicle, and all these citations. When they go before the court, the city judge is going to make an example out of them.
Yeah, it's a shame they can't figure out a safe place for them to do it, because it's almost like
they could go to the old Baton Rouge dragway or something.
Well, send them there, because they get in less trouble than they might otherwise get in, because think of the shit they could be doing if they weren't doing this.
You know what's sad? Us three at the table know about this. The parents are going to be the ones that pay for it. Mm-hmm. They're paying for the insurance. They're probably paying for the vehicles. And
look, these are expensive, Dodge Chargers that are $100,000 souped up. Most of these are nice racing type vehicles, souped up vehicles, and the parents are.
Well, and the tragedies seem to be that it's someone who's there spectating who gets a little too close to the action.
Yeah, it's
car spins
happen.
out too far.
It's gonna happen.
They take that person out. Now, daddy's insurance company is on, and if he doesn't have a big umbrella plan with major liability coverage, he's effed. So I hear you on that, but
I bet Mike ain't got to worry about an umbrella plan, so he's probably got that covered.
No, can I tell you something? I don't know what the hell is going on, but I've never seen anything like the state of insurance in this state.
Oh, it's horrible.
That's insane.
Absolutely.
They tried to double the cost of my freaking homeowner's insurance plan in a year. Double. Who does that?
Oh, yeah.
Based upon what?
Well,
the taxes.
I'm still involved in lawsuits with insurance companies.
No, it's the value of your home doubled.
The value of my home doubled in the last year.
No. They've raised rates for real. I get what you're saying, and my dad's going through all this too. And of course, and I can't mention it because I'm involved in some lawsuits, insurance companies, et cetera. But like my dad owns all these properties. Shit, they came in this year and they wanted him to pay 2 and 3 times the amount that he was paying for insurance.
The average,
you know why? Because they had to pay out, and rightfully so. Even all these lawsuits are getting settled now, and they had to pay out. So the state of Louisiana is letting them jack up the insurance rates.
Well, the average increase in Orleans Parish is 82%.
Yeah, that's
Are
crazy.
you effing kidding me?
You're never going to get anybody to live here.
And and the problem is that so many of the big insurance carriers have decided They don't want any part of the area.
Yeah.
And so you've got very few companies you can deal with. It's almost like dealing with a monopoly. Yeah. And why is a flat roof a big deal? Sorry, we're getting a little bit off crime, but flat roof.
Well,
I have a flat roof over a portion of my house, and they're like, "Oh no, we won't do that."
Let me tell you what your deal is. There was no hurricanes.
Ponding water.
No.
Standing water on a flat roof.
Honestly,
There was no hurricanes in the state of Louisiana last year. They hedged in their bets. 'Cause let me tell you why you're fucked. And I'm sorry, and I hate to tell you this. You're below sea level, and you're surrounded by the levees. When you can walk downtown and look up and see ships passing up above your head,
that's not a good thing.
No.
I thought I just had a great view.
It's very, very cool until New Orleans, even for Katrina and all that, it's never taken a direct hit, and there's no way those levees are going to hold. Next time it floods out like that,
but I can catch fish right out my living room.
Yes,
I just throw a hook right out there and catch a fish.
And sometimes you live by the water, sometimes you live in the water.
I'm knocking on wood, but the house I bought is 110 years old and has never, ever flooded.
Yeah, I heard
my
that
famous last
before,
words,
too.
our episode on Mike and his house that's floating down the Mississippi in a few months.
I pray it doesn't happen to anyone because it's happened to me too many times.
Okay, time for a transition from a story that was not supposed to be a story. You guys recognize this guy, right? I'm showing.
He's holding up a picture.
I'm showing a picture of
Kansas City.
Guy that was known as Chief Saholic, or has been known as Chief Saholic. That if you've ever watched a Kansas City Chiefs game, you have seen this guy and wondered what the heck he has to do with a chief. I mean, there's so many mascots that you can't figure out why that's the mascot when the team is, whatever. But this guy had a huge social media following, and he did a lot of media. And I actually heard him a couple of times on my favorite sports podcast, Pardon My Take, where the guys would talk to him. Well, it turns out that there were a bunch of bank robberies, and bank robberies that were occurring in cities where the Chiefs were playing away games.
Oh, my God.
And yes, folks, right. The Chief Saholic was robbing banks while he was traveling for team away games, and now he is on the lam. So his real name is Xavier Babadar, and he's been known as Chief Saholic. He was arrested in California after months on the lam, the U.S. Attorney's Office said on Monday. He's 28 years old. He's been a fugitive from justice for about 4 months after he allegedly skipped a court hearing on bank robbery charges back in March. He's from Kansas City, Overland Park, Kansas. He was charged in federal court for one of a string of bank robberies he's suspected of committing. He's also charged with transporting stolen property across state lines. He was arrested in Lincoln, California. I'm not sure where Lincoln, California is, on Friday. In December, he was accused of robbing a Tulsa Teachers Federal Credit Union and released on bond in February. In late March, he was suspected of removing his ankle monitor. You can remove suspected from that, can't you? He removed his ankle monitor and went on the lam. Officials said investigators recently had located him near Sacramento, and a federal warrant was issued for his arrest. According to the affidavit filed in support of the complaint, he traveled throughout the Midwest to perpetrate a string of robberies at various banks and credit unions. He allegedly laundered the robbery proceeds through area casinos and bank accounts.
Nice.
After he was arrested in December, the FBI began to review bank records, casino transaction records, and sensitive financial reporting to determine the breadth and scope of additional potential criminal activities. Officials said that he had purchased and redeemed more than $1 million in chips from various casinos in Missouri, Kansas, and Illinois between April and December of 2022. So that's just an 8-month period where he was laundering $1 million through. So
that's just what they know.
They're a friendly neighborhood mascot. So, I mean, no telling what Mike the Tiger's been doing over the last couple of years.
They can show up and they need to monitor all the Chiefs games this year. You see the new documentary coming out on Netflix, Quarterbacks. It follows Patrick Mahomes.
It's so weird that Marcus Mariota's in there.
I think they got to have one sucky one, right?
He's the sucky one?
Yeah,
not Kirk Cousins?
No.
Kirk Cousins always chokes.
Yeah, but sorry, he's got
sorry, Minnesota fans in our audience. But he does.
He still got Jefferson.
Fourth quarter. My Giants kicked your ass in the playoffs.
Fran Tarkenton.
Anyway, that's a good story.
Nice current
I
reference.
had not heard that story.
What?
It looks like the costume, the gorilla suit, actually looks like Chuck E. Cheese character.
It does a little bit, yeah. Chief's a Hulk. Who knew? I thought those mascot jobs paid big.
No, I think he's just a fan, and he's not that.
No, but I think he was. I think he became.
I'm proud of the Chiefs for riding out on the field and still throwing the air down. Right, the Washington Redskins, or what they call it now, the Capitol Commanders, some bullshit.
Well, speaking of mascots, I bet I'm about to tell y'all something y'all never knew about me.
Yeah, what's that?
Back when I was in high school, I was the costume person at Chuck E. Cheese.
Where are you? Really?
I was the mouse.
For real?
Yeah.
You can't unsay that. You just said that.
No, I was totally the mouse.
I'm not letting you edit that out.
I'm not editing it out. I was Chuck E. Cheese.
What about that summer?
That's his name,
what about
right?
that summer?
Yeah,
the mouse,
and I can't tell you how many times I got kicked in the nuts. Every birthday party, I'm telling you.
How many kids did you make cry?
Oh my God, man, it was horrible. They'd run up, Chuck E. Cheese, and freaking elbow me.
Shout
right
out to your parents for the
freaking family jewels.
Can you wash a costume like that?
Look, that thing
It gets pretty freaking stinky, doesn't it?
It does, and we would actually take like all this disinfectant stuff, and you'd have to shoot it up in the thing after you wore it. Yeah, it was pretty.
I think
pretty
Chucky had some crotch cheese after a couple of those parties with the kids.
Well, I mean, you wore clothes underneath it. You didn't go there
but good
free
thing,
balling.
good thing those kids tip well, Jim.
The only reason I ever went to Chuck E. Cheese is because they served
16.
beer.
Taking the first time you take your kids there, you realize how fast germs can spread through kids, because that is basically
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glace, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, and all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had.
Hey, y'all, changing my wardrobe from summer to fall, it's never easy. Luckily, Quince offers timeless and high-quality items I adore, ensuring my wardrobe stays fresh and I don't blow my budget. And there's nothing easier than going to Quince and choosing these high-quality items, like cashmere sweaters from $50, pants for every occasion, washable silk tops, and so much more. The best part? All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes, and I love that. I got the stainless steel Link Apple Watch band for $59.90. It's heavy duty, it's awesome, and it's like $100 less than I could find anywhere else. And I also got a 100% organic cotton fisherman quarter zip up sweater. The color is alabaster. Man, I can't wait to wear that this fall. And Cindy got the Mongolian cashmere boat neck sweater in heather gray. And I'm telling you, these are classic pieces at a fraction of the price. Make switching seasons a breeze with Quince's high-quality closet essentials. Go to quince.com/RLRC for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/RLRC to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/RLRC. You'll thank me later.
Breeding ground for bacteria, those places.
Absolutely.
We have an update, y'all, for the high school graduate who was found dead in a burn pile from the other day. An Arizona man has been arrested. The 37-year-old man was taken into custody on murder and several other charges weeks after the recent high school graduate from Nebraska was found dead and dismembered in a burn pile in a remote area. Detectives from the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office Fugitive Apprehension Tactical Enforcement Unit arrested Anthony Renard on suspicion of killing 18-year-old Parker League using his debit card to make transactions. Now, League and Renard were seen leaving a gas station and getting into a black Dodge Challenger. That was reportedly the last time League was seen alive. Detectives searched Renard's Challenger, and they did find League's DNA in the trunk.
There you go.
Renard was taken into custody on charges of first-degree murder and a slew of other charges. Now, as we originally reported to you, the victim was found in a burn pile pit and was positively identified as League. He was reportedly supposed to fly home to Nebraska from Arizona that day, but officials found his remains in that pile. What detectives found out that led to his arrest was that League went to a club in Phoenix on the night that he went missing. Several hours later, Renard and his girlfriend, they arrived at the same establishment. League, Renard, and his girlfriend left the club at about 3:45 a.m., and surveillance footage put them at a gas station around 4:30 a.m. At approximately 9 p.m., Renard allegedly tried to purchase a rifle scope at a local Walmart, but the transaction did not go through. League's body was found at 7 a.m. the next day. Court documents say detectives found a large pool of League's blood on Renard's trunk, as well as in it, and several bags of cocaine. Nice. A large piece of rug from inside Renard's home was reportedly missing as well. That's probably what he used to wrap him up in. And detectives said League's head and hands were cut off and left next to his body in the bonfire burn pit. Officials had to use dental records to positively identify League. So Renard is being held in jail with his bond set at $2 million.
Yeah, pretty sure he's going to get a death penalty, as he should.
As he should, and glad they caught somebody anyway.
And I talk about this every time on Dismemberment. The same case, we talked about it last week. But I'm starting a new series next week on the original Real Life Real Crime, and both of the victims were dismembered. I just don't get it.
People are just doing that like it's nothing these days.
But it's crazy, and I'm glad they got the guy and got him locked down. So, y'all, we also keep talking about people killing their moms, right? Well, guess what? Happened again. Police arrested a 49-year-old man on suspicion of killing his 68-year-old mom and lying about her whereabouts. On Saturday, concerned family members asked the Conway Police Department to perform a welfare check on Nancy Glover Warren after they tried but failed to contact her via phone. The family members last received text messages from Glover Warren in April when she allegedly said she was traveling to Hawaii. Officers went to Glover Warren's home and attempted to make contact but were unsuccessful. Police left the home, and family members said they received additional text messages from Glover Warren right after the cops left, right? Kind of strange. Glover Warren's son, Raymond Martin Jr., reportedly spoke with family members and confirmed that she was in Hawaii. Martin allegedly lives with his mother and told police he speaks with her on a weekly basis. Glover Warren reportedly continued to post updates on social media indicating she was in Hawaii. On Wednesday of last week, one of Glover Warren's friends said she sent a photo from Hawaii, but the friend concluded the picture actually came from Google.
Oh my
There
gosh.
you go. Detectives served a search warrant at the Zachary Trail home and found Glover Warren's remains, the mom's remains. Police then arrested Martin and booked him in jail on numerous charges, including murder. And I'm pretty sure our
Why
fellow
kill
listeners
Mama?
up there in Arkansas have the death penalty.
Well, the crazy thing about that is that he was able to convince even family members
Yeah, I'm sure they
that
live far away.
she went to Hawaii and he got caught by using a stock image photo from Google.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
the cops showed up, and then you start for the first time texting again. That's suspicious too.
Yeah.
Probably they're going to go back, and more's going to come out. I guarantee you she was getting a check every month, and he's cash, and he's living off her shit, and why he killed her, whatever. Dude, you have got your issue coming to you when you go to prison.
Yeah.
Killing a mom, that's as bad as raping.
No
a kid.
moms, no grannies. Come on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The alligators are eating all the grannies anyway. This is a tragic story, one that just I think is going to affect all of us when you hear this, if you haven't heard it yet. A former U.S. Army interpreter who immigrated with his family from Afghanistan to the United States in 2021 was shot and killed while doing his side hustle of driving for Lyft in D.C. on Monday night. Nazrat Ahmad Yar was 31. He was found in his car just after midnight on Monday morning after police responded to reports of an unconscious person. Ahmad Yar suffered a fatal gunshot wound and was immediately taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. He had worked for the U.S. government in a variety of roles starting at the age of 10. So when he was just 10 years old, he walked into a U.S. base and asked if there were any chores around the base that he could perform. And so his involvement with the U.S. government started at the age of 10.
Wow.
He served alongside U.S. Army Special Forces in Afghanistan for a decade before he was able to move to America following the Taliban takeover. He was one of the fortunate ones who was able to get out with the help of some American soldiers. So he lived with his family, including his 4 kids, in Virginia, and was working, like I said, at Lyft as a side hustle in addition to his regular job as a tow truck driver. Jeremy Malone is a guy who helped Yar and his family escape Afghanistan. And he said, it's really a huge sacrifice for somebody to make. He was in a lot of danger in Afghanistan. So, yeah, for him to come here and in less than 2 years after arriving in the States be killed, it's really devastating. Shortly after the shooting, authorities released a video that shows 4 people running away from the scene. We'll post that video for you. You see the 4, they look like young, teens, maybe early 20s, running through an alley in D.C. The recording from the alleyway shows Ahmad Yar dropping off his customer before sitting in the parked car with his hazard lights on for just a few minutes. Then this group walks up to the vehicle, and moments later, you hear a single gunshot, and then you see the suspects running through the alley. Metro DC Police is now offering a $25,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. And, as I was watching the coverage of the story, I couldn't help but think about a movie I'd watched over the 4th of July holiday break. The movie was produced by Guy Ritchie, who's done a lot of tough guy movies. I guess he also did Madonna for about 8 years, but that's besides the
That
point.
was my first thought.
But the movie's called The Covenant, and it's not a true story, but it is based on a compilation of true stories. The film takes place at the end of the Afghan War, where a badly wounded American soldier, who's played by Jake Gyllenhaal, is rescued by his Afghan interpreter after a disastrous raid, and what the interpreter goes through to bring Gyllenhaal back to the U.S. forces is pretty incredible. I'm sure it's greatly embellished from those stories, but the bonds that were formed between these soldiers and these interpreters, can't be underestimated. They're real bonds of friendship. And those people are known in their communities. They're known to the Taliban, and they are marked for death if they are not brought out of there. And so Ahmad Yar's dream, starting at just 10 years old, was to be able to come to the United States. And ironically, they came and they first settled in Philadelphia. And sorry, Philly, but they decided that it was too dangerous in Philly. And so he moved up to D.C., where not that much safer, obviously, and then just trying to make an extra buck, and driving a Lyft car. It ends that way for this guy. Just crazy. Unbelievably sad.
Yeah, and those interpreters absolutely invaluable to the U.S. military, especially Afghans in particular. But interesting also to note that Lyft in Washington, D.C., we classify that as a side hustle, but you can make a boatload of money with these Lyfts and other programs in like Washington, D.C., your major cities. I mean,
it's also becoming very, very risky.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, one last thing I have to say.
Sorry to hear that.
One last thing on this story. Anyone who thinks this is a political story can suck my slightly larger than Mr. Chow's dick in the Hangover movie, okay? Because that is not a political story.
I didn't say it was political.
No, I didn't think it was political.
I'm talking to the audience here. You haven't been in these battles the last few days.
Okay.
I don't know if we want to tell the audience to suck our dick.
No, I said anyone who thinks it's a political story, and I was making fun of it by saying my slightly larger than Mr. Chow's penis in The Hangover. And if you don't remember Mr. Chow's penis in The Hangover, you can go watch Hangover 2 and go on YouTube and search for Mr. Chow's penis scene.
I'm go on the record and say this. It's a lot of the back and forth and a lot of social media stuff and all that everybody in this room loves each other. We love to bust each other's balls, and that's just part of it, right? So, but it is a true crime show, and it's not a political show.
Love might be a stretch as far as Jim and I are concerned.
We're
working through life, the various stages of life.
Y'all know any good counselors for your relationship?
I've got penis envy. He's got the anaconda. It's destined for its difficulties.
That counsel shit works.
Maybe.
All right, a 32-year-old man is in custody after allegedly following his 33-year-old ex-wife from her place of work to a gas station and fatally shooting her last week.
There you go.
Officers in Fisher, Indiana, responded to a gas station where they found a female deceased from multiple gunshot wounds inside a red Chrysler van. The victim, identified as Kayla Farmer, was a mother of 3. She was shot 15 times. As Mike would say, he killed her dead. Killed her good.
You know why he didn't shoot her 16 times?
He ran out of bullets.
Exactly.
Fisher police detective and evidence technicians also responded to the scene and determined the shooting stemmed from an ongoing domestic dispute. Right. No surprise there. Woody, you've worked plenty of those, right?
Right. Too many.
Yeah, and the 15 times that he shot her tells me it was a passion thing.
Yeah, right.
The victim's ex-husband, Joshua Farmer, allegedly fired the bullets from a Kia Soul into the victim's vehicle. A witness said the driver of the Kia completely unloaded into the van. He emptied it completely.
Yeah. Real reason wasn't 16 because he didn't know that when you put the magazine in, which holds 15, and you rack one in, then you can take the magazine back out and put an additional one in. If a cop shot at you, that many times it would have been 16.
Yeah.
Still a lot.
So police used license plate reading cameras and learned that the vehicle was registered to a woman who said she allowed Farmer to borrow her vehicle after they met on a dating app. On the morning of the shooting, the woman met with Farmer and they exchanged vehicles. They were supposed to switch back vehicles that evening at Walmart, but reportedly the woman said Farmer did not show up. A few weeks before the shooting, he allegedly borrowed the Kia Soul and tinted the windows, even though the woman did not give him permission. So he was a little premeditation there.
Exactly.
They tracked the Kia Soul using cameras hours before the shooting, and Farmer followed his ex-wife from her workplace to the gas station where he shot her, all those 15 times. Police found the vehicle after Farmer sent the Kia Soul owner a Snapchat message reading Planet Fitness, 52nd and Keystone Keys inside. Shh. That's exactly what it said. Inside the Kia Soul, police found a discharged 9mm shell casing consistent with the caliber used in the shooting.
Oh. Wow.
So, yeah, and he goes on to talk about the history that this guy just had with his ex and domestic violence. And you watch yourself out there.
Hey, I don't care how bad it gets. Yeah, get a divorce. Don't kill him. Right? I mean, just unbelievable.
And this guy,
they're not worth killing.
Was not a genius.
Nobody's worth
in
killing.
Covering his tracks. I mean, you're going to tint your windows a month ahead of time.
Right.
And when you look back on this now that all this has happened, it's like, oh, that's why he did that. And then he Snapchats the person he bought the vehicle from and says, here's where your car is. Shh, don't tell anyone.
Yeah, right.
Got a rocket scientist we're doing.
How that worked out for you, right?
Yeah.
Send him a banjo.
So listen, y'all know. Yeah,
that's right.
That's a sad but tragic but real life, real crime story. So I'm supposed to give dog alerts, right? On dog stories now.
Yes.
I really am. So y'all, I'm not giving a dog alert on the story because this one is a good story. This story about a heroic police dog. Y'all know how I love my canines. And I'm happy to say that Miss Jerry Ann and everyone else, no earmuffs required. A brave canine working with the Troy Police Department in New York is expected to make a full recovery after sustaining 12 stab wounds while helping apprehend a suspected murderer. The Troy Police Department said in a statement on Wednesday that the canine, a Belgian Malinois, that's what we use, right? That's a crossbreed between the whatever. I mean, it may be a pure breed. They're better than German Shepherds for police dogs because they can be used for narcotics, apprehension, whatever, to protect the officer, et cetera. But the Belgian Malinois named Norby had been on duty earlier in the day helping police track down an armed burglary suspect in the Emerald Greens neighborhood of Troy. Several people in the neighborhood reported to police that a robber had been trying to enter their home, prompting a police response in the early morning hours around 4 a.m. Well, most people don't know that house burglaries occur during the daytime. So this is actually kind of rare. This tells me this guy's going to be doped up. So Norby and his handler had been trying to track down the robber in a wooded area near the Emerald Greens neighborhood. The pair found the suspect. However, when Norby and his handler attempted to take the individual into custody, he reportedly lunged at the leash dog, stabbing Norby 12 times on his back and his side. The suspect also allegedly sustained an injury from Norby biting him on the leg. If I was Norby's handler, he wouldn't have stabbed my dog but one time, and he'd have died of lead poisoning. But Norby was rushed to Upstate Veterinary Services to receive treatment for his wounds, and unbelievably, he was able to recover and be released later that same day. The Troy Police Department, right? And the Troy Police Department shared the good news in its Facebook post about Norby's injuries. The post also included photos of the Belgian Malinois exiting the veterinary hospital to a hero's greeting. In the pictures, we'll share them with y'all. We'll post pictures. You can see the police officers lined up and applauding Norby's bravery as he exited the facility. So feel good story. Norby, you rock. Those canines get it done every day.
Way to go, Norby. 12?
Can't tell you how many times canines literally saved my ass. Literally. Including the time the guy with a half foot ran away faster than me.
They're amazing animals.
Well, yeah, and we're thrilled to report that Norby made the remarkable recovery, and the Troy Police Department's proud of him. And the Troy Police Department actually said it remains committed to providing the highest level of public safety, and we will continue to rely on the exceptional skills and dedication of our K-9 unit, including K-9 Norby, in our ongoing efforts to protect and serve the residents of Troy. Right?
Wait, so now Norby doesn't go on disability? They're putting Norby back to work?
Yeah, if he's healed and then he got released that day, I'm going to give him proper time to heal and they'll put him back to work. These guys train.
Norby should get like a spa for like 2 weeks.
A female Malinois and a big old steak.
His pick. Yeah.
So as long as you
tomahawk.
don't cook it on your green egg. I got a message from somebody said, like a private message said, how in the hell can Micah fuck up something on barbecuing on a green egg? Tell him to go back to Yankee land. Well, sorry to dump that on you.
Give me that guy's name.
No, I'm not going to do that. You already offended
I don't like that thing.
The
cooking surface is way too small. It's just like this big. I mean, if you're going to cook.
You already offended 99% of
I know.
the population.
He was the last one. He was the last remaining.
He was. But
well,
congrats, Norby.
maybe I'll get him with this story.
Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone supporting supplement, it's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser-cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gifts to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
If I didn't get them already. Right. Okay, so we have done the story where we had the two clerks at Lululemon who chased the thieves out of the store to try and retrieve the $150 yoga pants. Then we had, if you remember, the 18-year Circle K employee who had momentarily grabbed the cigarette thief last week. We've had a bodega operator who chased down and shot a guy that he thought had stolen some water when they actually hadn't. I mean, we're seeing all kinds of things. And now, courtesy of the state of Colorado, we have the Tide Vigilante.
Tide?
I've nicknamed him the Tide
Vigilante. I put my clothes in the wash machine this morning and I had to dig around.
You used the Tide to
actually, that's the first time I ever used a wash machine.
That's
I did use the Tide Pod.
That's very, very impressive. You didn't eat the Tide Pod, though, right?
No, I didn't eat it. But I put it in the thing.
Yeah, hopefully, they've had some issues with some
Hopefully,
people.
I did it right. I hit the start button.
Well, listen to what the Tide Vigilante did, because I'll be curious on your takes on this.
Vigilante.
A Colorado supermarket employee was fired after he recorded 3 men stealing approximately $500 worth of laundry detergent from the store on Father's Day. Santino Barolo. Come on, Santino. And this is a store that's, unless you've lived in Colorado, because I think it's the only state they operate in, you're probably not familiar with it, but supermarket called King Soopers.
No.
Yeah. Santino was a employee for King Soopers. He was alerted to a theft in progress at the store, and the first thing he thought to do was pull out his phone and record it.
Well, I can see that.
He said, when I looked, there was already a guy halfway headed out with a food cart full of laundry detergents and scent boosters and some other stuff. My first instinct was to start recording. And so, and Barolo's a former military, former MP. Yeah. Walked out of the store. The 3 thieves hurried to load up a black Chevy Trax. That's a small SUV, I think. One opening the doors, another throwing a basket full. What was the smirk about that?
I was just laughing. Okay. Go ahead.
Another was throwing a basket full of items into the back seat, and another was struggling to unload the full shopping cart.
Right.
Okay. So, Santino says, "Really, bro? You got to resort to this? The economy isn't that bad." And you can hear Barolo making those comments on the video, and then he says, "Better getting while the getting's good," joking to the man. As the 3 stooges attempted to flee the parking lot, the getaway driver was a little faster than the 2 still outside the car who had trouble getting into the vehicle. That allowed Barolo to yank a sheet of foil off of the license plate. So they covered their license plate with foil.
Yeah.
Which I think the strategy of getting an alternative license plate is a little bit stronger than using Reynolds wrap around the plate. But anyway, Barolo
too much time.
Barolo got too much time on this story, or
too much time on the clock.
I thought I was on the clock already. I've only got about 20 minutes more to go on the story.
Oh, I know. So you got 47 pages.
No, wait, so
you can always tell Mike's stories.
So Barolo yanks the sheet of foil off of the license plate. And after the men got into the car and left the area, Santino called the police, later sharing his video on social media, which helped out investigators. He said, "So I posted it on TikTok, hoping that somebody would recognize them. And the video got 1.5 million views." Nice. He said, including one from Snoop Dogg.
Really?
Snoop checked out his TikTok. When he returned to the store for his next shift, he learned that he had been suspended, and then a week later, he was fired. So Barolo and the union rep sat down with the bosses at the supermarket, and they recommended termination. I would never let any criminal conduct slide, especially when it's happening right in front of me, Barolo said. He said he didn't break any rules or touch the thieves. All he was doing was trying to help the community. Did I feel that I overstepped boundaries? Not really, because I didn't physically touch them or alter their shopping in any way. I just revealed the license plate to help the community be aware, the police be aware, and give them a better chance of catching them. Investigators have already identified and arrested the driver, a Jorge Pantojo, 32, the man in the green shirt, the Arapahoe Sheriff's Office said in a statement. Pantojo is currently in custody at the Adams County Detention Center. He is also charged with theft and shoplifting. Page 7.
Please tell us where he was born and what kind of diapers his mama used. And
there's no information on that.
Oh, I bet if I would.
Thank you. Though.
Did you say his name was Pantaho?
Pantaho.
Yeah. So
pretty awesome.
So he had picked up the other two crooks, detergent crooks, at a light rail station. And offer them the opportunity to make some money. The men told the driver their names were Robert and Bugsy, and that's all he knew them by. So they couldn't really get a lot out of the other guy. Anyway, because these guys are killing me here. The bottom line here.
Yourself,
the bottom or this is a suicide. The bottom line is, okay, we have another situation where a guy took.
Yep, and I'm not following into that bait. You can ask the question, but I'm not answering.
Why aren't you answering it? Because I'm torn. I don't know.
It's actually
shooting. And I used to do training. And if you pull out your phone and shoot a video, if they are so inclined, they could turn and kill you and take your phone. You got to rip the license plate tinfoil off. I get what he was doing. I probably would have done the same thing. That's why I'm not engaged in it. But you know that Tide is serious shit on the street. They could trade that. If they got $500, I bet they got $250 worth of crack.
The number one stolen item, period, in 2020.
But
was Tide.
It is what it is. Hey, you know what?
Detergent. Yes.
Yep.
I guess this could have been they stole what, but
oh, you're not done yet.
We did one on.
No. I agree with you. I mean, the rules were there, I think in this case it probably works out for him because he
TikTok.
He got 1.5 million people saw this. So he's moving and he's got another job and
so there's a lady named
it ends well.
Whose TikTok handle is Bayou BAYOU _Brandy, and she tagged me in a TikTok last week about she's a true crime. She says like 100,000 some people that follow her. That Tag Real Life, Real Crime is her number one favorite podcast. So I'm going to give her a shout out. And I actually think I'm going to do something with her because, she's got a lot of fans but they follow TikTok and not so much podcasts. And we'll get together and maybe do something together on that.
That sounds good.
Right? Y'all go check her out.
You usually let me review these people.
Oh, you know the story we did about the pregnant cheerleader? The pregnant cheerleader,
yeah.
She has millions of views on her coverage of that story. So Alexis,
her coverage is better than my coverage.
I
need to see
probably
this woman.
Was. I know one thing. It was less time constraining because the TikTok you can only do like 3 minutes, right?
Right.
You can now take off that belt.
I love you.
And move freely around the cabin.
You know what that means.
It's time for Mile High.
It's time for a Mile High, and police in Minnesota say a flight passenger with an outstanding warrant tried to evade arrest in Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport Sunday night by opening a plane's emergency exit door and running onto the airfield. The attempted escape occurred around 11:15 p.m. on a parked Sun Country Airlines flight from Orlando. Police were waiting at the gate to arrest a 44-year-old man. Mm-hmm. While other passengers were leaving the plane, he opened the emergency exit door over a wing and ran. Airport employees found the man inside an airline service food truck around 11:40 and notified authorities. He was arrested and is being held in a Minnesota jail. Police said the man was wanted for violating a restraining order and also had an active felony warrant, which is why they were waiting for him at the gate.
Right.
A relative who was there to pick the man up texted him a picture of awaiting police, which alerted him to their presence and led to the entire ordeal.
That explains it.
That explains it all, and he just jumped right off the wing.
And hid. I bet he didn't eat any of the food in the food cart.
That's just crazy, and I couldn't imagine being on that plane. Like, what is this guy doing?
He was like, he must.
He
really
didn't want to wait in
go.
line.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
hey,
that-
you know and I sent you some last night or whatever. These people are just acting so fucking stupid on airplanes.
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy stuff. Mile High will be around forever, evidently. And let's get to the next one.
no lack of stories.
Right?
You now take off that belt
So
and
now,
move freely around the cabin.
it's time.
I was hoping it was time.
Kinky Crime
Yes.
on Wednesday. And y'all, you're not going to believe this shit. I had said, no offense to all, I love you, all you lifers in Alexandria, Louisiana, but that's where Courtney Coco was from. I love you so very much, and I swore I wasn't going back. But just so y'all know, and then we'll give more updates, I'm going to be on a television show recording it this Friday in Alexandria, Louisiana again. So that's unfortunate. But listen to this. How's this kinky crimes? Well, this courthouse I spent so much time in for Courtney Coco's trial, and a couple got caught having sex in the Rapides Parish Courthouse stairwell, and they're facing obscenity charges. A courthouse employee heard a commotion Monday around 10:20 a.m. in the fifth floor stairwell, which is where Courtney's trial was, and went to investigate, according to police. The employee observed a male and a female having sex. When the two saw the employee, they quickly gathered themselves and fled the area. But the employee was able to identify the man as a trustee assigned to a cleaning detail at the courthouse.
There goes that cush job.
He just got swung. Security quickly found the man, 20-year-old Miguel Camilo Glorioso of Alexandria, and the witness identified Glorioso, and he was arrested and booked into the Rapides Parish Detention Center. But guess what? It's right across the street from the courthouse, and he didn't have to go far, and he was already a member. He also had his trustee status stripped, we call that getting swung, from him, and has been removed from the courthouse cleaning detail, you think. The female was identified as 19-year-old Jamie Lee Coute of Pineville.
That's a great last name.
Coute. There was actually a big murder case up there where the wife killed the husband in front of the kids. I think it was in a Walmart parking lot. And this chick avoided trial forever. And finally, I met his dad and everything. Finally, she's doing life in prison for it. But anyway, Coute is a very big name around there. And she was found around 8 p.m. and Alexander was arrested. Coute was released from jail shortly after on a $1,500 bond. Glorioso's got charges of, distribution of dope and whatever. He's had his probation revoked in the past. And in April, he was sentenced to 8 years in prison and hard labor, whatever.
Sex in the courthouse.
Sex in the courthouse. Coute has a pretrial date on a misdemeanor marijuana dope charge, all in my favorite place.
Okay, so Woody.
Rapides Parish.
So Woody,
yeah.
You've never done it in a courthouse?
Shit, I'm not answering that. Swim. I worked in a courthouse for.
So that's why I assumed that
but shit, I never got caught.
Okay, well, that was the first question, and I got the answer I thought I was going to get. Second question.
I never did it with an inmate.
What's the TV show in Alexandria?
On Point. So y'all stay tuned for that. We'll be bringing it to you.
Well, that was a great kinky crime. What do you ever do?
Yes, kinky crime.
Our first one involving a courthouse.
I think that's bullshit. I think he's going up there for some reality show he's not telling us about.
Yeah, that's the truth.
90-Day Detective or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
selling you boys out. You figured me out.
Oh, give me some banjos.
Banjo time.
Banjos.
There are the banjos. And this segment of Dumb Criminals is brought to you by Rosetta Stone. Rosetta Stone reminds you that when robbing a business, it's considered polite to use the preferred language of the proprietor.
40% off for RLRC listeners.
And our guy in Atlanta learned this lesson the hard way on
This is
Monday.
actually funny.
Crime Stoppers of Greater Atlanta is searching for a man who did his best to rob an Atlanta nail salon, but couldn't quite get the job done. Hysterical video of the incident shows a man with his hand in a bag walking into Nail First on Piedmont Road Monday afternoon. The man shouts, "Get on the ground and give me your money," to a group of women who appear to be employees of the business. After he shouts, no one moves.
They just sat there and looked at him. I saw the video. It's funny as hell.
When the workers ignore him, he walks over to a man who's working behind a counter. Instead of handing over any money, the employee answers the phone that was ringing right in front of him,
Right.
and then walks away.
Like,
Eventually,
it's like an appointment.
Eventually, one of the women stands up, puts her hands up, and slowly just
Starts
walks out of the salon. The others who are still in there don't move or acknowledge the would-be robber either. And so once he realizes that no one understands a word he's saying, he just turns around and walks out without any cash, without a free mani-pedi or anything else. And he just stands in the middle of the store and looks around and just turns his head down, gives up, and walks out. Crime Stoppers is still looking for this guy, though. So he sped away in a silver car. Anyone with information is asked to call Atlanta police. We are going to post this video, which is one of the funniest things I have ever seen.
If any video ever deserves to go viral, this one does. You showed it to me this morning, and I was
good.
almost spit.
Beware when robbing a Korean nail salon
look,
that people may not speak
Any other
English.
time anybody points a gun in people's faces, you can get a reaction. These people are just like,
Well, he had
"We don't
it,
give
he
a
had it
shit."
in a bag. So
Yeah.
he must not have had a real gun.
No,
Because if he
I
had a
don't think-
real
he
gun,
couldn't afford a
he
gun.
probably would have got to the point where he took
He couldn't
the
afford
bag
a gun.
away and they would have understood the gun. But since it was in
If
a bag,
I was robbing
they
like
didn't
that,
get it.
and if I had a real gun and nobody paid attention, I'd fire two into the ceiling, right? Anyway,
On that note.
was a good,
Banjos.
That's a dumb criminal.
definitely a dumb criminal.
All
He
right.
didn't get caught, though.
Hey, we done, right?
Yeah.
All right.
we're
Hey,
never done.
Real quick, y'all go to podcastawards.com. It's 2023. It's time to do it again. We've been so blessed with the lifers we had in the past, winning all the awards we won for Real Life Real Crime. And we know the show is like a gazillion times bigger. So there's a lot of you who aren't aware. Go to podcastawards.com. You put in your email, you put in a password. They cut out the bots. Been fortunate enough to be nominated for the Adam Curry's People's Choice Podcast of the Year Award, which is the only one I've never won. I made the finals for it twice, but you can go under Real Life Real Crime. Best True Crime Podcast. We have won it before. Best Male Host. I've won it 2 years in a row, and for a podcast, all of them, y'all just click on it and go scroll down to the R's to Real Life Real Crime. And Best Drama and Storyteller. I've won it twice. And there is a spot for Most Influential Podcaster. You can fill it out, and if you're so inclined, put my name on that one. And I did win that last year also.
I will say that
Oh, I'm sorry.
Woody has
Wait,
won.
bigger,
Wait.
Go ahead.
Woody has won so many awards with the podcast awards that he doesn't even remember. He did win the Adam Curry Podcast Award last year.
I better get it confused.
Seriously?
He really
I won
did.
4 last year. I won 4 out of 4 basically, and the most anybody had ever won it before in the night was 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
As a matter of fact, a couple of those they only allow. Woody's won so many, he only gets like one more shot before they cut him off.
Then they call you a legacy, and I won't have to ask y'all to vote again. But it's the oldest podcast awards in the nation and the world. And the first year we did, there was like 600,000 votes. Last year was over 4 million people that voted.
Yeah.
So when you fill out that thing, they'll ask you, are you a podcast listener or both? And then they'll also ask you, would you be willing to be selected? So what happens is people vote now, and then you make the finals, the top 10 in each category, and then you have to re-vote. But the only people that get to vote then are the people who are selected from the random pool of the people that are voting now. So check on there that, yes, you'd be willing to vote in the end. And we just appreciate it. It validates what we do. Real Life, Real Crime Daily is absolutely 1,000% a part of all of this year. And so congratulations, and thank y'all all for listening, liking, and sharing. I love each and every one of you. We love y'all, and thank you for the success.
And go on to the history category.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. The history category, first time ever.
Yep.
Bloody Angola
Podcast. 142 years in the making.
The complete story
of America's bloodiest prison.
Hosted by Jim Chapman and I. Y'all, when you're in there, or scroll to the history part and Bloody Angola, give us that vote. Let's bring that one home. Hey, Bloody Angola's never won it.
That's right.
Right? Real Life, Real Crime Daily hasn't won it, but we're about to. And I love y'all.
Yeah, and don't forget to write in that the best new podcast segment, I'm not allowed to report, which
I knew we couldn't make it through the whole. I knew it.
Almost.
I knew it.
But I love y'all. Thanks.
Almost made it. And I'm not going to ask you if you have any final thoughts, because you'll have one, and it'll be horrible.
Me and the audience have just listened to you guys ball wash each other for the last 5 minutes, so I think we're good. I think we're good to go now.
Ball washing is good. And you got the best fans in the world.
Balls.
We beat the best shows in the world, and we had this way smaller fan base, but we have the best fans. We have lifers, and even though some of them give you shits, evidently a lot of them actually like you. So I would expect you to step up your fucking game and get in some ball washing and get to the world so we can win this again.
Okay, if you get in a Chuck E. Cheese outfit, I'll wash your balls before.
On that note, I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agovino.
For Real Life, Real Crime Daily, peace.
Show business.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.